Dan Evans returns to Wimbledon's center court, a year on from sacrificing his career. The Athletic has live coverage from Day 4 at Wimbledon 2025. The All England Club, London. This time a year ago, British tennis player Dan Evans had a decision to make. He could play the 2024 Paris Olympic Games and partner two-time Wimbledon champion Andy Murray in his final event, or he could defend his City Open title in Washington, D.C. The former was the romantic option, but missing the latter would mean 500 points coming off his ranking. That would send Evans tumbling more than 100 spots toward the bottom end of the world's top 200, taking away his automatic entry to top-tier tennis events. He would have to drop down to the second-tier ATP Challenger Tour, which is not where any former world number 21 wants to be, especially in their mid-30s. This was no quandary for Evans. He chose the Olympics without hesitation and in so doing helped, and at times carried, Murray to two valedictory victories, both from multiple match points down. They didn't win a medal, but the matches were unforgettable. It's impossible to quantify a sporting experience like that. It is much easier to quantify what they meant for Evans' career, and it wasn't pretty. After winning the longest match in U.S. Open history by defeating Karen Khachanov in the first round, he settled into his new reality. His first event after New York was the Nonthaburi Challenger in Thailand. In February, he bounced from Bahrain 1 week to Glasgow, Scotland the next. By the end of March, he was ranked outside the world's top 200. Evans knew what he was sacrificing to play with Murray, but the resultant destruction of his late career still hurt. At Wimbledon 12 months ago, he said that he'd consider retirement if he needed a wild card to enter. After a year of struggle, and taking the wild card that he never wanted to need, Evans will face the 24-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic on center court at Wimbledon, in a moment that feels as close to tennis karma as can exist. Not that Evans sees it that way. "I think if I believed in karma, I'd be in a bit of trouble," he said in a news conference Tuesday, after beating Jay Clark to set up the opportunity to face Djokovic. It was a throwaway line, but one that is in keeping with Evans' character through every stage of his career. In his early days, Evans, who stands at 5 feet 9 inches, 175 centimeters, but is blessed with excellent hands and a devastating slice, looked as though he wasn't going to make the most of his talent. The Lawn Tennis Association, LTA, took away his funding for 4 months in 2008 when he was in a nightclub until 3 a.m. with his doubles partner before a junior match at Wimbledon. It cut his funding again in 2010 and 2012 because of question marks over his attitude and commitment. Evans then failed to turn up for a third-tier ITF event in 2015 and was fined £350. When he finally started to put it together, reaching the Wimbledon and U.S. Open third rounds in 2016 and then the last 16 at the following year's Australian Open, Evans imploded. He tested positive for cocaine in April 2017, a month after reaching a career-high ranking of number 41, and was banned for a year. It could have been a precipice for his career, but Evans instead returned with a renewed focus. After beating Denis Istomin from 2 sets down in a thrilling Davis Cup tie that September, Evans fought back tears and later said that he had feared he would never play again. The following April, Roger Federer invited Danny, as he called the Brit, to Switzerland to train with him. After beating Evans in 4 sets at the Australian Open a few months earlier, Federer had been so impressed with his opponent's game, full of slice and forays to the net, that he described him as a mirror of himself. Evans climbed to that career-high rank of number 21 in 2023 and even beat Thursday's opponent Djokovic at the Monte Carlo Masters in 2021 in their only meeting to date. "I think when they do the stats, it has to be over like 3 matches to have a 100% record, so we'll say I have a decent record," Evans joked ahead of their meeting. Born and raised in Birmingham, the son of a nurse and an electrician, Evans did not come from the British tennis heartlands of southwest London and Surrey. "It'd be cool to see a guy coming up and his parents are painters and decorators," he told the Daily Mail in 2023. "That would interest me where his career went. It doesn't interest me seeing how a career goes of a guy with wealthy parents."